We know that we had presidents from a few of the African countries present that are also oil producing countries. Rwanda was one of them. Chad and the rest of these people, where there's been efforts to discover crude. The point I'm making now is perhaps if we have these countries in Africa and some other countries around Europe that perhaps maybe they are eyeing to get this crude from, does that answer the question of the cost implication and whether or not it will be sold in dollar or naira? Because if you're going to import crude, then that's one way to look at it. The crude we have in the country, how has there been any conversations as to how it's going to also tap into that, or are there no plans by the refinery to tap into that crude? We have our government refineries that should be doing that already have that structure, and they are not working. So what does this then mean for the petroleum sector generally?
Well, first of all, you're right. If Dangote Refinery is going to get crude oil from 3 continents, remember it's 3 continents.
Yes, continents.
Africa is one.
Yes.
So whether oil is coming from Kenya or from Tanzania,
that's Africa,
or from Ghana, or from anywhere within Africa, that is just the one continent. So maybe then we'll be looking at also
Europe was also mentioned.
Like Brazil. Yes, that's the Brazil is close to us, so it's possible that they're also looking for product from Brazil and also crude oil also from Europe. But don't forget that the Russian war has brought out quite a lot of the soft underbelly of the European energy corridor and the challenges that are in them. But let's look at the realities of what faced us in Nigeria. Dangote Refinery is going to be turning out in full capacity 650,000 barrels per day. Nigeria is struggling between 1.3 million barrels and 1.5 to something million barrels in the last 8 years. So basically, if Nigeria is going to be selling crude oil to meet up with our debt portfolio, we are not going to give all of the products we have to Dangote Refinery. Simple business common sense tells me that. But because NNPC also is warehousing 20% of the equity of the refinery on behalf of all of us, because what NNPC is keeping belongs to us as Nigerians. Maybe we have to wait to see what is the dynamics of the business model that is going to bring in terms of crude oil supply and outturn buyers and distribution and marketing strategies. Whether NNPC will be part of the marketing strategy being co-owners, we'll wait to see. But what we are asking as PETROAN is there should be absolute transparency. Transparency that will help us in this country to be able to work and give PETROAN that, ability to be able to deliver our services to all the nooks and crannies of this country efficiently. So there are quite a lot of, gray areas that must be, that we must wait.
But do you ultimately
complications or statements of projection?
Do you ultimately believe or think? What's your position on this? Are you confident that the Dangote Refinery will tackle our fuel problem in this country?
Well, if you look at some of my earlier interventions, some of them have said that that's not sufficient. We need to get all the 4 refineries that are in country working. We need to bring in more refineries, because at the end of the day, refineries efficiency is dependent on some technological, matrix. And if there is any glitch for any reason, then the whole country will be commodity dependent just on one refinery. So I will consistently advocate, that more refineries should be set up. The Nigerian government and the NUPRIC should make it easy for refineries to be set up, and also stock, ensure to be able to give, confidence to to the investors that if we put in 45,000 barrels refinery here, and we put in 150,000 barrels there, we put in a 60,000 barrels refinery there, now do the work. Now the collective of all of this, what we can guarantee consistent petroleum production, not one refinery.
People also are looking at the monopoly that is involved in this, because for some people, the idea is if this is working and how interested the government is in the Dangote Refinery, it begins to question the fate of the government refineries that has been undergoing turnaround maintenance for the past 8 years, and we still haven't got them running. The closest was the Port Harcourt Refinery. We heard was supposed to have been operational by March. It has then been moved to the second quarter of this year, and so far no news. Do you think that the government refineries would be up and running anytime soon? With the Dangote Refinery, now are you not worried about the monopoly that could bring?
Well, as it is today, even the Dangote Refinery has not turned out the first liter of PMS or any refined product. So it's like all the refineries are kind of like on a max spec to go. But my take on the refineries, or the existing refineries, especially the ones in Port Harcourt that have already gotten an investment outlay of 1.5 billion US dollars, should be working. But clearly we can see that there are promises made that are not kept. And that's a very big challenge for us. Because when we say it's also time the refinery should work, we should be certain of the entire gamut of technical, technological marketing, logistics strategies to work that will be.
All right, let's take a commercial now. Thank you very much.
Dash glow that me, you believe.
Dash for this kind of economy.
And Billy Gillis Harry speaking with us via phone. Mr. Harry, thank you for staying on the line. We had to quickly go for that commercial.
Thank you so much.
All right, quickly, for a listener, you can be a part of the conversation. We're streaming live on Facebook and on Twitter. So, yes, be a part of it. On Facebook, it is Nigeria Info, 92.3 PH. On Twitter, it's Nigeria Info PH. And we're asking you whether or not you are confident if the Dangote Refinery will be able to tackle a fuel problem in the country. Let us know. Share your thoughts with us using either of those handles. You can also send in WhatsApp messages 0809 030 6416. So, Mr. Harry, we were talking about the monopoly. I was asking you, for some people, they are concerned because we've talked about modular refineries for a long time. And many people are beginning to question how fast it is, and the fact that the government seemed very invested in the Dangote Refinery. It got done in about 3 years or even 2 years and a couple of months, if we look at it. And some say, at this pace, why didn't we invest some sort of energy and time from government with private partners from all over the country, and even from the Niger Delta at the time the vice president visited, to get our modular refineries operational, which would immensely contribute to ensuring adequate availability of fuel? What's your perspective to it?
Well, first of all, it is a business decision. It's a business decision. Incidentally, the capital outlay is very high, and most of us in the Niger Delta find it a little bit challenging to muster such capital to be able to work. I mean, for instance, the ease with which the Dangote Refinery has been funded cannot be said to be what the average Niger Delta who wants to be in the business will have. So that is the challenge. We need a level playing field where such volumes of capital outlay could be made available to us. But like I said, it's a business decision. So we're open. Everybody should be open and be interested in being part of it. As I speak to you today, I'm aware that about 5 companies are trying to move to bring in modular refineries that can produce everything else but PMS. One gentleman is working on a 45,000 barrels refinery that's going to be started in Delta. That's going to be producing PMS. So the issues at stake will be one, interest. For instance, the Riverside government has some oil blocks which they acquired. What has happened to them up till now, nobody even knows. So many things that are being done are started in secrecy, and that in itself is a disservice to us, and it's not helpful at all in growing our economy. So for me, I will not blame anybody who has gone ahead of us. We should be able to sit down and bring out a strategy on what to do. For instance, PETROAN has been asking the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, partner with PETROAN, give us one of the refineries. Let us seek for technical and financial partners to make that refinery work. If that is being done, the issue of monopoly will not even be talked about. But right now, that fear is on the horizon. And a lot of course,
when you look at the cement industry, where we also have the Dangote Group for a long time, and we've also heard a lot of complaints that came out of that industry with other players who are also in similar activities saying that they're not getting level playing field, and in fact many felt that's one of the major reasons why the cost of cement is what it is over the years, when many expected that it would have dropped drastically. When you look at the situation in the cement industry, and then you now come to the oil, will you say that people are in their rights to begin question or have certain doubts?
Yeah, I was trying to address that. I don't believe in armchair situation kind of theory, whether it's a conspiratorial one or real. I like to always find empirical evidence to justify my position. And I was just saying that the chances that a monopoly may come is because the other four refineries are not working. and I know support there is going to other competition to come up. Which that the Nigerian people should be able to speak up, because we cannot allow a whole 200 million to be controlled by the from China to Mexico to go to the economy into one company. It gets that must be certain by which the will not certain. And one of the things that PETROAN is doing was the administration of we are a section of businessmen that are looking up to ensuring that businesses that concern us are efficiently managed, and they are good enough to the economy of Nigeria. This is what we sought to when we got elected, and that is what we are to deliver. So yes, that is the challenge. The fear in the horizon that there may be for one than you have to make it investment.
All right, and then lastly, many agree that it's very specific and not favorable as well. Is completely true. Is a question you asked. Well, look economically, the fact that not importing the product, and that takes away less, that should mean that we pay less for the product. You have to clarify that's possible for us, because we're still going to import crude from some of the things that we've seen, unless there are plans to transport crude locally to the refinery. It's on one side. And second hand is now for you directly, if you can give us a data to this. What is the faith the government refineries, with the level of interest the government has in ensuring the Dangote Refinery is something that happens? What would be the fate of our government refineries if for the past 8 years we're still doing turnaround maintenance, and we even have account of what money is, how far we've gone?
Well, the first thing Nigerians must know is that the refineries belong to us. They don't belong to NNPC. They belong to us as Nigerians. And the earlier we realize this, and this and the valuable lives must think about property and their husbands, the happier our lives will be. For me, it's several governments that come and go. We've had the DP that I was there for 10 years, and the refineries were working epileptically. And we've also had we've had the several authorities that are made to government, and policies were made where we were even expecting that at least by now we should have had a minimum of at least 8 refineries. Because if we were to make one refinery, they would have had 8. What means we would have fixed the 4 and had another 4. But that's not what it is here today, and for me, it is neither here nor there to put an argument. What we should do is, this is where we are. We have not stood up and we should be alright. We have the sleeping alright. We do not have the right measures of resources, and outside, these difficulties coming out of the land. So, as far as I know, prices for petroleum products will be determined by the vagaries of supply and demand. And in this case, with the water, we have not clearly defined what is going to be the source of the crude oil, what will be the price, what are the deficits. There is a about $30 billion. How true will that be? Will be what we in PETROAN will work in our society were involved to be and not our life to. So we can be able to make this service. If we do not service $30 billion in the Nigerian economy, consistently grow us in the way that we should determine to become a best-sized, a country. Because if you say $30 billion every year and 20 years, you haven't put a lot of money to be able to invest in making sure the best of the refineries are not dead. The refineries can all be whipped back into action. And there is no reason why we as Nigerians should not insist for that. So we are hiring, we are voting, when we vote people into office, we hire them. We should also insist on how our Commonwealth should be, managed. What has happened with us is so far we just, do our elections and then everybody goes home and people start to boss you around and tell you how they want to run your affairs. It's not to be so. This is our Commonwealth, and we all need to talk about it and make cases as to how best it can be utilized to summer.
All right.
So, to answer you directly, government-owned refineries, left to me, is not the right business model. And that's why they should partner with people like us. They should call the man, they should call Morman, they should call Hitman. Let us work within ourselves on how to make the refineries work on a private basis with equity, also for the government, just like they have done for the Dangote Refinery. So I think that, the leader that is coming in is pragmatic and clear-minded enough to ensure that all the four refineries in Nigeria should work. Modular refineries should have access to crude oil to be able to refine as much naphtha and AGO and DPK to be able to help us, and possibly ATP too.
All right.
So that aviation fuel will not be costing so much money. So that's where we are.
Okay, then.
So as far as private is concerned, let's be clear about it. We cannot, anybody that's doing any armchair projection, what price will be from Dangote Refinery, is not helping itself. Because I'm sure that even the management of Dangote Refinery is still going to be working out the rudiment, the value, that the input that will all be computed to make a decision on what pricing will be economically beneficial to them.
Okay.
It is not for charity. It is a business with profit. So they must make profit. But profit to what? You are not going to gain the cost of that, the investment in 1 year. It's going to be skimming across a lot of so many years. The same way that the loan that have been put in there has spread.
All right, then.
Nigerians will have to
Mr. Harry, thank you very much.
Have, some pride.
All right, we have to wrap the conversation up here. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Oh, that was the national chairman for PETROAN, Billy Gillis-Harry, with us via phone. He had his thoughts and what he thinks about the Dangote Refinery and the implications generally. As much as it is good, if you followed, you would find out that there are still little bit of concerns here and there, but those concerns aren't ones that cannot be addressed. Let us get your own thoughts about this. Yesterday we saw the flag off of the commissioning of that refinery. Well, are you confident that it will solve our fuel problem? From what the Dangote group has said is that it is able to tackle 100% our fuel needs. That was what it said. 38 million liters of petrol, diesel, kerosene and aviation fuel for Nigeria daily. Hence the possibility of meeting 100% our fuel supply requirements of the country, which brings people to ask, if the Dangote Refinery is going to meet our demands 100%, would government see any need to want to make sure that the government-owned refineries are effective, or would people get the level playing ground to establish modular refineries that has been in the talks for a long time? Well, you heard how my guest responded. Let us hear your response. 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0003. Muriel is in Okrika. Good morning to you, Muriel.
Essentially, good morning.
You're welcome.
Essentially, going by your question, definitely the Dangote Refinery will bring succor to the Nigerians, especially to reduce our reliance on importation of fuel. Now, essentially, my question is it that the crude in Nigeria is not enough? Because they said Dangote is going to import fuel from 3 continents. And has that been one hindering factor to Nigeria, to the Nigerian economy producing fuel? Because according to your guest, he said we don't have enough. In fact, we are using crude to pay some of our debts. So is it that we don't have enough to supply to Dangote, and that's why it has to go out? And has that been a reason why Nigeria has not been able to produce to the quantity we need, because we don't have enough fuel? Now Dangote is producing fuel, and now our importation of fuel will be reduced. Absolutely. Now will it reduce our subsidy, the amount of subsidy we are using to bring in fuel? So would the federal government be sincere to us to tell us that, okay, now we have this quantity in our country, so we'll be importing the total quantity which is reduced. Therefore, the money we're using to cushion and to pay for subsidy will be reduced. Now, I hear that Nigeria has a stake in the Dangote Refinery. So just like you asked your guest, would it not be? How would the federal government now come out when they know that they are expecting profit that will accrue from Dangote? How would they now come out with all their vigor to produce, to make our refineries work? when they are expecting well, we don't know in their capital or the money they have invested in Dangote. So how are we expecting that Nigeria, federal government will be sincere to produce, to open refineries or also bring up refineries when they have a stake in Dangote? Thank you, Efemi.
Thank you. Blessed Inalu, good morning.
Good morning, my brother, Efemi Andrews.
You're welcome.
This your question this morning, very, very enticed. Pertaining this refinery being commissioned yesterday as Dangote Refinery, we have made a wrong calculation. Situation whereby the nation have 3 refineries, and they have borrowed money to repair the 3 refineries since good 8 years of this present administration, and we should not be clamoring yet that this refinery has come to the Nigerian. Check what the production of other products, being the cement or flour or sugar, that's coming out from the Dangote. Check how the price is. No competition. See the phone that you and I are using today, the network, either MTN or Airtel or Glo, as case may be. If there is no competition, you will see the price of SIM card will not come down. Before, we know how much we are purchasing SIM card. But now, they can dash the SIM card to any individual as a free of charge. But what the amount we are going to buy the fuel, when this refinery start to produce the fuel, amount will not be easy. We are going to either 1,000 naira or 500 naira, or our case may be, because no competition that competes with this particular refinery. Our federal government have promised us a modular refinery for years, but nothing has come out. And besides, BMB, Muhammad Buhari, is the current minister of Petroleum. He did not even analyze anything to us. What happened for complete 8 years for the refinery of Nigeria not to functioning? What are we talking about?
Blessed, thank you very much.
Some certain country buy for 600, 800, 1,000. Are we going to buy the same price in Nigeria here?
Let's go to Ima now.
Dangote at the refinery in Nigeria.
All right, Blessed, thank you. Ima is in Ebonyi State. Ima, good morning.
Good morning, brother. The arrival of Dangote Refinery.
Yes.
As was commissioned yesterday. In terms of capacity, or producing enough, yes, we might have it, but the price of fuel will increase to the point of either 400, 500 or more than per liter. It can even get to 1,000. And this is my solid example to you. When there was Eagle Cement, which was national cement industry, cement was very, very cheap. Until Dangote and others started under private sector, private company. And today cement is 4,000 something. The price of fuel as Dangote has started now will put the citizens into trouble. 500 or 600, or even getting up to 1,000 a liter. That is the disadvantage. Instead of government to repair the refineries that we have here, 4 of them, they kept quiet until this one has begun to work. It's a pity.
All right, Ima. Let's go to Eliozu. Thank you very much. Braid, good morning.
Good morning, Jamie.
You're welcome.
For me, allowing one person to have refinery, and where the government refineries goes moribund, it is detrimental to the country Nigeria. When we are having a good cement, we are having Bua cement, we are having raw cement, you can feel the price of cement after then. And look at today, where Aliko Dangote alone is supplying cement to this country. We are having it about something thousand. Now, look at other countries that Dangote is supplying cement. How much are they buying it? Very much lower than Nigeria. And now, Dangote has a refinery. The whole Nigerian refineries has gone moribund. What will happen? The price will skyrocket because Now that there is no landing, there won't be landing fee. There will be pump and otherwise union and all the rest will not come in. I think it should have been a good thing for this country.
Okay.
But for what we have seen in the past time, Dangote, for me, is not ready to help this country.
All right, Braid, let's go to a warfare. Osiris on the line. By the way, we also have Ibeto Cement and other cement companies opening and supply warfare.
Now, whether it's going to attend to the needs of Nigeria, the answer is yes. But one thing we must not rule out is if it is not sabotaged by the managers, by the people, handling this project, because we've heard that Nigeria supplies power to Ghana and other countries with it, but here we don't have those. We don't have power. Now let's look at also this telecom. When MTN first came to Nigeria, it was like the market space was occupied, and they continued. Glo came in, and there was still space. There was still market for them. Now we have all telecom networks, and they have not still sufficiently attended to the needs of telecom. So it is Dangote Refinery alone is not sufficient to attend to Nigerians. Right. But then it's going to really solve problems if it is not sabotaged for selfish gain.
All right, Osaro. Angel is on the line. Okay, we lost the call from Angel. A commercial is just around the corner. We'll be going for that one shortly. When we come back, we'll take some more of your messages. On Facebook, Mamadou says, Port Harcourt, Warrior and Kaduna refineries are now buried. And let me tell you, any government in Nigeria going forward who tries to fix it will be in trouble because from Dangote and his shareholders, who might be cabals both here and abroad. Okay. Mighty Man Samuel says, I so much cherish the fact that Nigeria has gotten a private-owned refinery, and I'm quite sure that it will tackle our fuel problem. No matter the monopoly it may cause, if it was possible for a refinery to be set, then it is possible to tackle the petrol problem. Alabo Clinton says, until it commences production and distribution of products, we'll know if it will tackle the problems of fuel in this country. Those are messages from Facebook. Thank God says, Commission of Dangote Refinery is good, but what about the government-owned refineries? Critical question. After this commercial, we'll be right back.
Colors, they add meaning to our lives.
Good morning. Nigerians should at least see positive impact of Dangote Refinery on the highway to Nigeria and less in other countries. Let's forget that inflation rate in Nigeria and of those that are the same. It's bright. AMNA. That message. In this one, until we understand our place as the Delta in this country will never grow. 8 years government to refine this weekend. It's promised one from Agua. Another one is Dangote do one. Several of them please happen. Cement industry Dangote pasta. Dangote now oil refining Dangote. Could be that some persons are using this private business to carry out their own private business. Looking to me as an agenda. To crumble the national refineries while we promote private business. Make the question I want to say: we had Nitel, right? And then the moment we started doing we had all the other private companies coming. Nitel died. Some people talk about the government cement we used to have, and then the moment private came in, the government owned is forgotten, buried, dead, and gone. I think we have government hospital. And you look, when we're having hospitals, people are beginning to ask questions. With government schools, and now we're having private schools, we have government schools, people are beginning to ask questions. What other thing do we have that competing with the private sector? Okay, we have government media houses, then we have private media houses. I don't need to say too much. So every time you have these things, when you look at it, you'd understand why people are skeptical now. But with this big case for our refineries, well, only time will tell. Hello, Port next. My name is Andrew. Thank you for your time. Drew is already here, so yes, you're about to have a very wonderful time on radio. On all social media platforms, Fiemi Andrew Official on Instagram and Fiemi Andrew on Facebook. Good morning.